I found out my girlfriend and her friends planned a fake breakup to test me. They wanted to see if I would fight for her or just let her go. When she finally said the words "it's over," I decided to play along. I begged her to stay and made up a lie about secret gambling debts. That stopped her test right away because her friends did not know what to do. I am Derek and I am 27. Jade, my girlfriend, is 25. We have been together 2 years and living together 6 months. One evening I went to get food from our favorite place. I walked past the big window and saw Jade sitting in a booth with her 3 closest friends, Meredith, Kira, and Ashley. They looked serious, like they were planning a big crime. Their phones were on the table and papers were spread everywhere. I was not going to listen in until I heard my name. Meredith said every guy fails the test. She told the group about how her ex Tyler reacted when she pretended to break up with him. He just said okay and left. She called that proof he never cared. Ashley leaned in and said Jade needed to test me before wasting more years. Kira agreed. They handed Jade a script they had written. The idea was simple. She would tell me she needed space and wanted to break up. If I begged or cried, then I was the right guy. If I accepted it calmly, then I did not really love her. They even told her to record it so they could study my reaction later. Hearing this made my stomach twist. 2 years of memories and trust reduced to a little plan cooked up during a lunch. I slipped away before Jade noticed me. I knew I had to do something. I got home before she did. I opened my laptop at the table and filled the screen with fake spreadsheets. I wanted to look nervous. When Jade walked in later, I snapped the laptop closed and acted guilty. She looked relieved because she thought her plan was going perfectly. She sat down, pulled out her phone, and pressed record. Her performance started. She pretended to cry and said she needed space. She said we were not working out anymore. I stayed quiet for a long time, then grabbed her hands and begged her not to leave me. She seemed encouraged. She thought I was falling into her little test. Then I added my own twist. I whispered that she could not leave because I needed her help paying off my secret gambling debts. Her fake tears froze. She blinked and asked what I meant. I lowered my head and told her I had been losing money on online poker for months. I said the total was $47,000. Her jaw dropped. I explained I had been using her Netflix password for my accounts, and if we broke up they would freeze everything. She looked confused and asked what Netflix had to do with gambling. I told her Netflix had a secret underground betting platform. She gasped and kept recording. I could see her hand shaking. I kept pushing the story further. I accused her of cheating with Steve from her yoga class and asked if he knew about the bedbugs I had been hiding. She shouted in shock, asking what bedbugs. I explained I thought they came from my cousin's apartment and I had been treating the bedroom without telling her. She jumped out of her chair like it was crawling with insects. I did not stop. I told her my mom already thought we were engaged and had paid for a wedding venue next summer. If we broke up, my mom would blame her. I added that I had signed us up for a couples marathon that cost $500 and our friend Kyle had already printed team shirts with our faces on them. Jade was starting to panic. Then I confessed I was the one who scratched her car last month. I had been practicing parallel parking at 3 in the morning because I secretly failed my driving test 4 times and my license was expired. I admitted my own car had been repossessed and that was why I always said it was in the shop. At that moment the front door burst open. Her friends Meredith, Kira, and Ashley stormed inside like a rescue team. They said they heard everything through Jade's phone. Meredith ordered her to pack her stuff and leave me because I was dangerous. I stood calmly and called them the council. Then I turned my attention on each one. I asked Meredith if her boyfriend Tyler really went on business trips or if he just left town every time her mom visited. She froze. I asked Ashley if her ex really left her after a fake breakup or if it had more to do with the fact she had hooked up with his roommate. Ashley's face went pale. Finally, I turned to Kira. I asked how her graphic design job was going and if she was still telling people her online content site was a real career. The room went silent. Jade's phone was still recording, but now none of them looked like they wanted the video to exist. I leaned back in my chair and crossed my arms. The test they planned had spun out of control. Instead of proving my loyalty, they had revealed their own secrets and lies. Jade stood in the middle of the room staring at me with wide eyes. Her plan to expose me had turned into something she could not control. The night ended with her friends storming out one by one. Jade stayed behind, confused and shaken. She asked if any of what I said was true. I only smiled and told her sometimes tests have answers you do not expect. She never tried to test me again. The fake breakup fallout. The room went silent when I stood up. I told them the truth. I had heard everything at the Thai restaurant. Every word. The plan. The fake breakup. The recording. All of it. Jade's face looked like pure horror. I explained that there were no gambling debts, no bedbugs. My driver's license was real. My car was fine and parked in the garage. And no, I never told my mom we were engaged. The only thing that was true was the marathon sign-up. I thought it would be fun. Jade stuttered. You knew? I nodded. Yes, I knew. And instead of playing along with your little test, I wanted to show you how crazy these games are. You didn't catch me. You embarrassed yourself. Meredith shouted that I was gaslighting. I shook my head. No, gaslighting is secretly recording your partner while pretending to break up just to see how they act. That is emotional manipulation. That is what you did. I started walking to the bedroom. Jade asked me where I was going. I told her to pack. Because the moment you tested me, you already failed. You listened to your friends instead of talking to me like an adult. Update 1. 3 days later. I stayed at my buddy Garrett's place after the fake breakup mess. Jade blew up my phone. I had 47 missed calls and more than 100 texts. They ranged from apologizing, to yelling, to begging, to threatening. Some of the best ones said things like, "It was just a misunderstanding." Another said, "You lied about gambling. That's worse than what I did." Then another said, "Please come home so we can talk." And one more, "If you don't answer, I'm throwing out your Xbox." I screenshotted all of them, especially the threats. On the second day, I went back to the apartment while Jade was at work to pack my stuff. That's when I found something. Her laptop was open, showing a group chat called Queens Supporting Queens. I read through it. Yeah, I snooped. Whatever. Turns out this test was not the first. They had been doing things like this for months. Meredith tested Tyler by having Kira flirt with him at a bar. Ashley catfished her ex with a fake Instagram to test if he would cheat. They had Jade test me before by canceling plans last minute, just to see if I would get mad. Another girl even pretended she might be pregnant just to see her boyfriend's reaction. This was not just toxic. This was a whole network of manipulation. I took screenshots of everything. Then I packed my clothes, my electronics, and important documents. I left anything we had bought together. I wasn't being petty, just practical. While packing, I found a notebook in Jade's nightstand. The cover said relationship goals and standards. I opened it. Every page was filled with things her friends told her to demand. One page said, he should pay for everything. I already paid 70% of the bills. Another page said, test him monthly to ensure dedication. That explained all the random drama she would start. One more page said, if he isn't jealous, he doesn't care. I wasn't jealous because I trusted her. I was secure, not controlling. Another line read, real men should beg for you. What are we, 16? The last page was a pros and cons list about me. The pros were nice, sweet, makes me laugh, remembers my coffee order, great with my nephew, stuff like that. But the cons? Too calm during arguments, doesn't get jealous, too logical, friends think he's boring. Her friends thought I was boring, her friends who had been through 12 breakups in the 2 years I had known them. Cool. I left her a note. It said, your stuff is safe. I only took what's mine. The apartment is paid through the end of the month. Your queens can help you figure out the rest. P.S. The Netflix password is changed. Build your own underground gambling empire. The Flying Monkeys. That evening the messages started. Jade's mom texted me saying Jade was heartbroken and I was cruel for leaving her over a prank. Her sister texted me saying I was throwing away 2 years over something small. A mutual friend named Destiny reached out saying I should not be so harsh. I only replied to Destiny because she was usually fair. I told her the truth. Jade had faked a breakup to test me. She even recorded it. When I flipped the script, suddenly I was the villain. I asked Destiny how that made sense. Destiny was shocked. She said, wait, she fake broke up with you. She told me you freaked out about gambling debts. I sent Destiny the whole story. Her response was, oh hell no, that's psycho behavior. But Jade wasn't done. She went full victim on social media. She wrote posts like, when you give someone your whole heart and they leave you over a misunderstanding. Another one said, some people can't handle authentic emotion. Then she wrote, single again because I love too hard. But she didn't love too hard. She needed a script and a recording device to stage feelings. Update 2. 1 week later, the smear campaign only got worse. Jade started telling everyone a different version of events. According to her, I was financially unstable because of the fake gambling story. I was emotionally abusive because I lied during her test. I abandoned her with no explanation. I was probably cheating because I didn't come crawling back. Her friends backed every lie. Meredith told people I had been creepy toward her, even though I had never been alone with her in my life. Ashley claimed I made rude comments about her job, but all I ever did was point out that she had an OnlyFans account. That's just a fact. Kira told people I was controlling, which was insane since they literally scripted Jade's behavior. But karma started to turn. Tyler, Meredith's boyfriend, reached out. He asked me if the fake breakup thing was real. I said yes. I told him his girlfriend was part of the same manipulation squad. He told me Meredith had tested him too. She pretended she was breaking up to see if he would fight for her. He said he respected her choice and walked away. She freaked out. Same script, same playbook. He said, "These girls think relationships are a TV show." Then he said he was done. I sent him screenshots of the group chat. He confronted Meredith. She denied it until he showed her proof. He dumped her for real this time. That was the first domino. Ashley's ex saw my social media post about the situation. He started asking questions. He found out she had been catfishing him during their relationship. One by one, the truth started catching up with them. And for once, I didn't even have to say anything. Their own games were destroying them. The story continued when everything started falling apart for Jade and her friends. One by one, the dots connected. Tyler told his side, Ashley's ex spoke up, and Tira's boyfriend found out too. That group chat the girls thought was a secret was no longer hidden. Word spread fast, and by the end of the week, 3 of the so-called queens were single. Their little circle of power had collapsed like a house of cards. Jade started panicking. Since I had blocked her number, she called me from other phones. I didn't answer, but I listened later to the voicemails. The first one was full of blame. She said her friends were angry at her for their breakups, and she said it was my fault. The second voicemail said I had no right to tell Tyler about the chat. The third was softer. She cried about getting evicted since she couldn't afford the rent without me. That one almost got me. Almost. But I remembered that she had chosen to test me with tricks instead of talking like an adult. That reminder kept me strong. She was still not done. A few days later, she showed up at my job during lunch break. She stood in the lobby crying, asking for 5 minutes to talk. Security had to step in. She begged, saying she would lose the apartment if I didn't come back. I told her she should have thought about that before making me prove love like it was a game. She argued it was just a way to show I cared. I reminded her that I showed that every day for 2 years, but she wanted a performance. Security escorted her out when she refused to leave. She tried to make a big scene, but no one around cared anymore. People knew the truth now. Her next move was accusing me of stealing from the apartment. She went on Facebook and posted a list of so-called missing items. She wrote that her grandmother's ring was gone, but she never even had such a ring. She said $300 cash disappeared, but my bank statements showed no such thing. She even claimed I stole her medicine, which made no sense. Then she said I took rare books that she actually saw me buy with my own money. She lied about everything. I had proof. I posted receipts and screenshots showing the truth. Photos of my Amazon orders proved the books were mine. Screenshots of old texts showed she admitted never having a grandmother's ring. The comments came in quick. People called her out, saying it was embarrassing to lie like that. Within an hour, she deleted the post. But the screenshots were already out there. Once something hits the internet, it never really disappears. A month later, the meltdown was complete. After people exposed her for lying, she wrote a long blog post online. She called it, "How to Spot a Narcissist, My Story." She described me without using my name, but anyone could tell it was about me. She claimed I gaslit her, isolated her from friends, and manipulated her. The problem was her story had holes. She made herself sound like a victim who only wanted love, but people weren't buying it. They asked for proof. They asked what exactly I had done. And someone linked my side of the story in the comments. That was the end of it. The blog post got deleted after the comment section turned against her, but the damage was permanent. Her group, the so-called Queens Supporting Queens, was gone. Meredith had to move back with her parents after Tyler left her. Ashley's reputation sank when more of her exes spoke up about her fake tests. Tira's boyfriend exposed the chat to all their mutual friends. 2 more girls in the group got dumped after their boyfriends found out they were planning tests too. Jade lost her apartment, had to move in with her sister, and that sister gave her lectures every day about playing childish games instead of being an adult. Destiny told me Jade was now working 2 jobs to cover the bills that I used to help pay. But even with that, Jade still tried one more stunt. She wrote a letter by hand and mailed it to my parents. In the letter, she played the victim again, saying I had left her over a misunderstanding, calling it a prank gone wrong. She begged my parents to convince me to take her back. My mom called me laughing when she got it. She read it aloud, shaking her head. I explained the whole story again. My mom said, "So she played games and got caught. You did the right thing by leaving." My dad took the phone and added, "I never liked her anyway. She always seemed fake." That made me feel good. I had their support the whole time. Jade tried one last time after that. She got another new number and texted me. She asked for coffee, saying she needed closure. She said therapy had helped her, that she had grown, that she wanted to end things properly. I told her no. I reminded her we had already ended things the day she chose tricks over trust. She begged again, asking if I was really going to throw away what we had. I said she was the one who threw it away with her fake breakup test. Then I blocked her number for good. Since then, life has been better. I started dating Rachel, a girl I met at the climbing gym. On our third date, I told her the entire story about Jade and the breakup test. Rachel laughed and asked, "Do grown adults really do stuff like that? Sounds like middle school." I told her exactly. That's what it felt like. As for the queens, none of them ended up in a good place. Meredith works at her dad's insurance office and is still single. Ashley deleted all her social media after getting roasted online. Kira jumped to another toxic friend group, proving she didn't learn a thing. And Jade, she still posts online about healing and growth, quoting things like, "Sometimes the universe removes people from your life to protect you." I just laugh when I see it. The universe didn't remove me. Jade removed me by showing her true self. She chose games instead of trust. She chose tests instead of love. My friend Garrett put it best when we had drinks. He said, "She really thought you'd beg to stay with someone who pretended to break up with you. Like you don't have choices." But it was never about having choices. It was about having standards. The second Jade picked manipulation over honesty, she failed her own test. In the end, she won her prize. And that prize was being single, broke, and living with a sister who reminds her daily that she ruined a good relationship for nothing more than fake psychology games she saw online. I have no regrets. I am not looking back, and I will never beg for someone who thought testing love was more important than trusting it.